Welcome to This Is Not a Green Room, the podcast where we talk to friends and comedians of New York Comedy Club. Today, our wonderful guest is Tone Bell.
Yeah, and actor, yeah.
And you got the triumvirate of Nick, Rachel, and Amy with you for the hosts. And so we were just having a really funny conversation that I'm going to bring here. Why do so many people bring prostitutes to comedy shows? This is a weird
good way
thing.
to start. Yeah.
Do you see it on the road too?
Oh yeah. I mean, it has to be like I think more like progressive cities.
Yeah.
But like, oh yeah. I mean, and you can, like you said a second ago, you can tell. You can definitely tell when someone has been their time has been purchased.
Yes. They're like the most disinterested people of everything. It's so funny too because it's like, oh, this person is like doing a nice thing, kind of creating this sort of pseudo date, but also the hooker is always so not interested in anything.
And she's
happening.
always getting liquored up like crazy, and the guy doesn't drink.
Yeah, because she knows what
Well,
she has to do after this.
She's got to sleep with this bozo.
Yeah.
He just rented her mouth. So like,
Wow, Nick.
I mean, that's not untrue.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, like if you know you got to do this, I mean, wouldn't you just take advantage of free drinks and like not have to remember it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, like I think it's weird. Like when I'm on the road and if I'm doing an hour, it makes more sense to bring it to a show where like a comic is doing an act. Like you only gonna see 3 acts, but if you get like, man, you getting 8, 9 acts on a show.
Yeah.
Man, one of those people might bring up prostitution.
Oh yeah.
And then it gets a little dicey, I would think.
Uh-huh.
Do you think there's that much like rationale involved when they pick
Yeah.
which show to go to?
Oh no, I mean I don't think they think it's
No,
true.
no.
They
Exactly.
don't saying like, oh, you're gonna get an unpleasant surprise on this date.
Yeah, like you might be having a great time, and then halfway through, like you get the wrong comic or the right comic, and that could severely be like you just like see a chick give like $300 back, like not tonight.
Yeah.
Or a comic doing crowd work. So how do you guys know each other?
But they probably don't pay first either. Now that I'm thinking about it, you got to probably pay at the end.
Yeah,
I'm not paying. I'm not paying.
Well, a down payment and then
a deposit.
yeah.
Is there a deposit?
Wow, is this
The
how
drinks.
it goes?
The drinks are the deposit.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I shelled out for these tickets and drinks. That's my deposit.
I don't put down a deposit.
I have no
until
idea, by the way.
until I make a deposit.
I just want to clarify that I'm just
Sure, pal.
assuming I have no idea how to go about purchasing someone's time.
Yeah.
Cooch.
I mean, I wonder though too, because like fancy prostitutes are the ones that are coming to our show. Like they have agencies set up. There's like a whole legitimate business of the thing. I mean, it's illegal, but like there's probably something where you have like a card on file. You know what I mean? Like you're a
for
repeat
classy.
customer.
For classy, yeah.
The bar I DJ'd at that had the mechanical bull, a lot of hookers.
Ooh.
They would go there and pick up clients. They'd ride the mechanical bull, all sexy like, and they'd always ask for me to play Pony by Genuine. Like, no. No, we save that for special.
They gotta advertise. You gotta play Pony.
Free advertisement. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I should get like a cutback for this. You know, like
crazy. I'm sorry to cut you off, Nick. My friend went to the Tony Robbins seminar in Florida, where it's like 2 days long and they don't even give you a break. She said there was nothing but hookers walking back and forth, taking bathroom breaks because all the husbands are out of town for like days at a time with time to kill.
Solid marketing.
Oh my God. She was like, it was fucking wild. She's like, it was so distracting. She's like, it was so hard to focus.
I was hoping that you were going to say that all these hookers were at the Tony Robbins seminar.
They
like
are.
being like, no, they're like
like
inside
trying to get
listening to him.
Like trying to get their shit together.
Yeah, like thank you, Mr. Robbins. I'm not going to hook no more.
I needed this. You spoke to me, and it touched my heart and my mind. And you know what? I'm done with these dicks. You know what? I'm done with these dicks.
I'm gonna respect my body.
I mean, those seminars are expensive though, so they had to work to get there.
It's true.
And then they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple thousand to
made
get
it.
in.
Can we tag Tony Robbins in this one though? Just
Also,
Isn't he, like, in jail or
and
something
he just
now?
got in trouble not too long ago for I'm not clear what the story was. But,
it was a big Me Too thing.
yeah, but it was
Prostitution,
like
I hope.
no, but he was. It had to do with like some.
And also his
some
staff.
women
He was like, he was super abusive to his staff, not just sexually, but also like he was one of those bosses that would be like, "You're gonna work for 12 hours. Don't you dare take a pee break. Get my coffee." And he would like, I don't think he would hit people per se, but it was like horrible boss.
We don't know that he didn't.
Yeah, alleged.
He didn't. We don't know if he struck anyone, but he definitely was like doing some creepy shit.
Yeah.
To like.
And there were definitely like subordinate women who he would like basically force to have sex.
He was
with them to keep
motivating
their
those panties
jobs.
off. You know what I mean?
mean, come on.
Let me give you some words of wisdom so you roll those draws down.
You don't think there's something really wrong with that guy? Really wrong.
I've always thought it was like, oh shit, I'm sorry.
Oh shit, I thought that was me.
I've always thought it was like, he's still a powerful dude, and at a certain point you go like, man, this dude, like, people want to hear his words. It's like being a pastor.
Yeah.
Anytime like you're that, like you're seen as like a god to people. Yeah. It's man, those mouths start watering.
I know, it is crazy. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of power you have, whether it's political power, money power, or like God power, basically, where you'd think like, oh, this is a good, upstanding person. It's like at a certain level of power, everyone turns into a monster.
Yeah, I mean, like, and because you turn to a monster because everyone in that position will have a groupie of some sort. Yeah, and then you get, you followers.
Yeah, so you get surrounded by people who kind of build this world for you, where you are like a god. And you sort of lose touch with like what's normal. Because
you have to keep yourself convinced of the bullshit that you're spewing.
100%. But also, I think everybody has it easier than comedians when it comes to groupies.
Why?
I do. I 100% think because we're the only position that still has to do what we do off the clock for you to keep it wet. You know what I mean? Like, athletes don't have to keep playing ball. Like, he doesn't have to keep being motivational. They just want to be in his presence. But a comic has to still be funny.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Afterwards, like on stage, great. You're salivating.
I think you got them already. Once they're following you off the stage and they're hanging out at the bar. If you don't go straight home,
I mean, like, depending on your fame level, of course. But if it's like, if you're like mid-level or not as well known, I think you got to keep turning that shit on to laugh those draws off.
If there's a girl in the audience, if there's a girl in the audience who doesn't know who you are and makes the decision, ooh, he's funny, I'm gonna fuck him. You gotta keep that funny. You cannot be like, you know what, I just want to turn it off and relax a little bit. She's like, Yeah.
That's why you only get pussy at late shows. I can't be doing it at 8 o'clock. I can't give you 4 hours more material till midnight till we decide if we're gonna make this bad decision. I bet you better come to an 11:45 set. So by 12:15 we can be in the Uber.
Oh my god.
Okay, so now we're talking about groupies. So you work in LA and New York, but you work on the road a lot as well. Like, is that different? Because obviously, there's a different scene in LA and New York, and people have, they live nearby, but there's so much stuff to do. Whereas, like, if you're in Des Moines, like, is it some weird thing where like a bunch of people just hang out at the front bar after the show?
I mean, if it's like a mall club, the clubs that are in malls, not as easy because like where you gonna like hang out at the TGI Fridays afterwards? Like it's just not as. And then everything is 30 minutes away. Yeah. So it's like I can talk myself out of wanting to hang out with people, and also like I don't trust chicks on the road. Yeah. But you can't. Well, everybody knows the rule. You can't. Man, I'm about to give out secrets.
I did not mean to go down. I didn't mean to back you into this corner.
Trust chicks what's the difference?
You don't share where you eat?
I don't. I mean, I know. I mean, everybody. Everybody's had their experience. I mean, and I've not that I haven't, but like in the last few years, probably the last like 3 or 4 years, I don't. I'm very like. Well, when I'm serial monogamous, so I'm always kind of in a relationship because I stay safer that way. But also, there's not a way for me to. I can't believe I'm about to say this shit. I don't trust it because if I check your Instagram or whatever and like everybody knows, and women have the same attribute to men, but it's like you have to have something to like. You're gonna gain something from me, versus like it being equal. So like you can't fuck fans. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to have like somebody on level because they put you on a pedestal, and then like if you go home with a chick who's like wants to be with you, because like if everybody knows if you meet a chick on Thursday and you go home with a girl on Thursday, she's coming to every Friday, show. Saturday, she's coming to Saturday, and she's coming like you have a girlfriend for the weekend. Yeah. So there's like if you come to the first show on Friday, like then they want to hang out for the second. It's like no, I can't. Yeah. If I do end up linking up with somebody, it has to be Sunday.
Sunday, late show.
And I'm leaving Monday. Yeah. But also I feel like a lot of times, like career wise, I put myself in a position to go, if I can't get Kelly pregnant in fucking Des Moines. Yeah. Like because you're gonna come up, you know what I mean? Like, and I can't. I feel like an NBA rookie sometimes. Like I can't afford I can't afford to fuck this girl. Because if she gets pregnant and I got to hang out with you for the rest of my life, you know what I mean?
It's going to impact your job.
I'm not, I'd rather just turn it down and just go to the bar. So like, I'll just go to a dive bar where I can't get in any trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody there. Like it's very chill. Yeah. I mean, I'll hang out with the comedy club staff because you can't fuck staff. So it's like, it's easier to.
How with that attitude?
There are some club owners around the country that's like, oh man, when the server's really, you're like, dude, you can't be a pimp too.
No, what are you doing?
Don't put me on this. Like, yeah, she's cute, and not that I wouldn't. Like, she looks great, but I'm not. No. Oh man, I'm like, yo, you didn't get the right manager training.
Yeah.
You supposed to be like, do not fuck my servers.
Yes.
Well, that's probably because he doesn't have all the money he was supposed to pay you. It was like, we agreed on 500.
Short,
I've only got 3.
Christina over there.
That's what it was like. No, I'm gonna Venmo you. No. Let's get rid of all these contracts and like W-9s, man.
What's your worst like road horror story? I've heard so many of like not getting paid or getting shorted or getting like something different. Like, oh no, you've got to drive yourself from the airport. I mean, that's not.
I mean, that happens. I mean, they're usually. They try to forget to pay you for taking your Uber or something. Like it's like 40 minutes out from the airport. So like they're like, oh, just take a car. We'll give it back to you. Then you have to go like, did you put that in the check? Oh yeah, right. Can I just give you cash? Like, yes, I prefer that, but you were not going to give it to me at all. But just like, I guess my worst road story, not about being paid, but I did, is it Dead Crow? I think it's Dead Crow now down in Wilmington. And this is like 2 years ago. And this is like Disjointed had just come out, so like there was kind of like people were coming out because my half was maybe out a year. I'd just done something else with Comedy Central, and then so like people were starting to pick up on like who I was, and this dude like really loved Disjointed. He was in the military, and my character was a veteran, and so this dude was like, "Man, can I smoke a joint with you?" And I was like, "Wait till the end of the night." His girlfriend was a local comic there, and I was like, "All right." We had a bunch of drinks, and I still to this day don't know if it was my drink or this joint, but he was like, "Yo, I got some crazy weed, and I know." You live in LA, but like you got to try this shit. And I was like, end of the night, and dude, I smoked this joint with this dude, and we're like just passing around. I hit 2 hits maybe, and I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna go back to the hotel, and it was like 8 blocks away, and I start walking, and I have never felt like this in my life. Like I start walking, and I go, I can see the hotel, it's right there, but I gotta call a car. So I called an Uber, and then it was a 2-way street. I called an Uber.
Did he laugh at you?
Huh? Well, I had walked out like I'm walking by myself now because I don't trust. And Rojo was with me. I don't know where Ro was at the time. So like, but I'm like, I'm heading out. I think he had already left. Maybe he already went back to the hotel. And I'm like walking back, and I call a car, get in this Uber, and then the lady who picked me up is driving the opposite direction of the hotel, and I'm like, I can see it. Why are we going away? So now I'm paranoid as fuck. And I was like, she was like, I got it. And I'm looking at her look at me in the rearview mirror. So now I'm like, yeah, look at the road, lady. And like, don't look at me. I'm fine back here. Just go the right direction. And so I was like, I got out the car. I was like, I'm freaked the fuck out. I think you're going the wrong direction. So I hopped out. I was like, just drop me off right here. I saw sirens. I saw a fire truck, and I was like, I'm walking towards some officials, some people with badges. So I start walking that way, and I was like, I should be fine. There's like authority figures over here. Some cops were over there, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk this direction. I'll tell them I'm a comedian. I can't get in trouble for being high as a comedian. They can look at the web.
That's how the law works.
But it's the only thing that made sense to me at the time. So I'm like, hey, we're allowed to do drugs, and so then I walk past, and I'm like, so I get to like this where I see the hotel, clear shot of hotel again, and then I see these 3 dudes standing on the corner, and I think they know. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I think they know I'm fucked up. Yeah. And so then I walk past them, and as I pass them, they start walking my direction. So I'm like, oh fuck, man, I'm about to get jumped. They can tell I'm high. I don't look like I have money, but I'm wearing a Casio for a reason. They shouldn't be following me. And then I make a right, and then they make a right. And then I just get a clear shot to the hotel in the next block, and I literally take off running. Like I take off running to the hotel. I call the police on myself. Okay. I call the police on myself. I'm running and shit. They're like, where are you? And I was like, that's why I called you. Track my phone. And so then but like the hotel's like, there's like 2 flights of steps up to the lobby of the hotel. And I'm like, I book it up 1 flight of steps. I turn, I look, they're not behind me, but I still book it up the other side. But then I walk into the lobby like nothing's ever happened. I walk to the lobby, I go, good evening. And then I walk to the elevator. I get to my room, and I open the door and I sit down, and then now the police call me back. And they're like, hey, where are you? I'm in my room. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm going to sleep this shit off. And they're like, no, we have to come see you because I go, you don't have to. It's me. You called me back. I'm good. And so now the police, I don't know who it is, but the police knock on my door, okay? This is a true fucking story. The police knock on my door, and I answer, and I go, man, I'm good. Or I got kind of crack it because I locked that because I'm still paranoid, but I lock all the bolts and everything. And I go, man, I'm good. Y'all can leave. Don't worry about it. Y'all can leave. And then they go, you have to open the door. Otherwise, we're coming in regardless. Yeah. And I go, fuck. I open the blinds. I open I open the curtains, and I grab the coffee table, like the little end table. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, the police are, and I'm now just like black paranoid. I'm like, the police are they're coming to kill me. They think I'm the dude chasing other dude. They're coming to take me out. I just had this weird moment of like, I do not want to be murdered by the police tonight. So I'm about to throw this coffee table through the window because I convinced myself that I can I can make the jump. I was like, I saw Bruce Willis do this and he was like 50. I was like, all I got to do is tuck and roll. I might sprain an ankle, but I should be able to get away. And then, so I opened it up and then I was like, fuck it. Fuck. Okay, so then I put the coffee table onto the other bed. Okay. And I was like, fuck it. Okay, I got to answer the door. They're still knocking. I answer the door, but I take all my clothes off first. I strip down to my underwear. What? I unlock the door, and then I just put the latch in. I was like, you can come in. Just give me like 10 seconds. So I strip down. I'm just sitting in my underwear, and I sit at the foot of the bed on the floor. Yeah. And hands behind my head, like crisscross. I was going to say Indian style, but you can't say that anymore. So I say crisscross applesauce. So I'm sitting there like this. They walk in, and it's like 3 or 4 cops. Yeah. 3 paramedics, hotel security. It's like 9 people in my room. And then I'm just hands behind my head. And they're like, sir, why are you naked? I go, ma'am, because I know if you shoot me, it's going to be very hard to put my clothes back on without bullet holes. So it's going to be hard to explain. And they're like, why would we shoot you? I swear to God. And so I go, it's going to be very hard. I was like, I don't know if you ever worked at Macy's. I did. It's hard to dress a mannequin. It has to be hard to dress a dead body. So, wow. And so they're like, why would we kill you? I go, motherfucker, I watch the news. And then there's like a black cop talking to me and a white cop talking to me. And the white cop was like, what happened? I go, man, I don't know. I smoked some shit. I drank some shit. I go, that's okay because I'm a comedian. Right?
That's how the world works.
And then he starts asking me questions. I go, I'm sorry, man, but I don't trust questions from you right now. I need the black cop to talk to me. And the black cop was kind of laughing. I go, I don't think this is funny right now. And so now, but I happen to have one of like the local like Observer papers. And I was like, turn to page 13. My photo is right there. I'm headlining the comedy club. I got shows tomorrow. So please, if I die tonight, y'all gonna have some explaining to do because I got 2 shows tomorrow. And so as I'm doing this, like the girl I was going out with at the time, like I call her and they're like, who let her make a phone call? I was like, I got rights. So they go, she goes, Tony, then I could have killed you. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm crying. I'm scared. I'm fucking scared. Do you think that shit was it had to be lace? It had to be lace. So I look it up the next day and so they're like, she's on the phone and the paramedics are like, you want to go to the hospital? I'm like, no, I want to sleep this shit off and I want y'all to leave my room, to be honest with you. And they're already pricking my finger to take a blood sample to like see what it is, right? Because otherwise I have to go to the hospital if they don't do the blood sample. And so I go, no, I don't want to go. And they finally leave my room and everything. And it's like a carbon copy of like the report. Oh. And I put it on the other bed because I had like a 2-bed. The next morning, like it's like 2:00. Rojo hasn't heard from me at all. Yeah. And he knocks on the door. I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "What'd you do last night?" I was like, I didn't even remember any of it.
How did this all come back to you so vividly?
Because so he comes back. Yeah. He comes into the room. I go, nothing, man. He sits down on the other bed and he sees the carbon copy yellow form. He goes, yo, did you go to the hospital last night? And I was like, oh shit. And that's when I remember everything. And I couldn't, like the whole day I felt weird. I couldn't really function. And I just had to really start drinking and like put myself back in like a relaxed mode. And I told the story the next day or whatever, or the next night on stage. And it was weird as fuck. But people kept on telling me after the show that people in Wilmington, like I guess East Coast, smoke lace weed. It's like they take the nuggets and dip it in embalming fluid.
Formaldehyde,
yeah. And they let it crystallize, and it's called Love Boat.
Love Boat.
And it's like I never called the police department because once you call, it becomes an open file,
right?
And the body cam footage, and I was like, I can't have this body cam footage out here of like me acting of like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that took a while, but that was probably my worst roast story.
That's amazing.
That's a great story.
Amazing for us, terrible for you.
I was expecting something like, yeah, this guy, and then he wrote me a check and it bounced, and I had to call him back, and then I had to go there again. I will say
that Tim paid on time.
Excellent. I honestly too, like, so before, like, a third into the story, I was thinking like, oh, you know that call to dispatch, like they play it at their Christmas party, and that's like the joke.
They're watching
and then
this
it got
footage.
so much big. I'm like, oh, this is just the story of the department. They tell that all the time.
I was just thinking the entire time, like, it was.
Why are you?
It was Denzel Washington from Training Day giving you a joint. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you like to get wet.
Yeah,
Sherm. You just smoked some Sherm. Like, what?
Oh my god.
Dude, then my mom. I told my parents about it the next day because we headed out from Wilmington that Sunday because we didn't have a Sunday show. We went to Atlanta to do shows, and then we went to my parents' house to go hang out for a little bit, and we told them the story. My mom was so mad at Rojo. Where were you? And she was like, I'm sorry, Miss. I'm sorry, Miss Bell. I'll never leave your baby boy alone again.
Aww. I mean, that's such a cute mom thing.
Not that you were like taking drugs off a random stranger.
Yeah.
Did you guys have rooms near each other? Did the commotion not wake him up, or was he like
No, he's in a different room.
Yeah, but I mean, was he not near you on the same floor or anything?
No, like he didn't hear it because I don't know if he got too drunk and went back early, or if he got too high and went back early, or you know what. Because I was probably there another 20, 30 minutes. So he had already left.
Yeah.
And went back to his room.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I don't know where he was, but I know that he knocked on my door the next morning, and I didn't remember shit until I saw that form. And it all came back.
I'm going to be laughing about that.
I will say it's pretty smart on your part to be like, I'm going to get naked because you can't shoot a naked guy that put his clothes back. Like, that is some, like, grade A paranoia brilliance right there.
That's true. That is an impressive
He asked me, the cop goes, do you know where you are? I'm like, yeah, I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina. He goes, do you know what year it is? I go, yes, Trump, motherfucker. Like, I remember. and they were kind of laughing at some point. And they're like, man, this guy is a comedian. I was like, somebody in here knows me. I've been on enough TV at this point. Somebody recognizes me. But I've had a few like, but also like, I look for the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's moments, cause I did I got not cavity check, but I got pulled to the back room at TSA when I was here last week, and then went to Kansas City, and when I was coming back, I was kind of giving the TSA guy shit because I had to go through the random check, and nobody should go through the line until I went through. And so he's giving me the speech, and I'm like, I get it, man. You got to touch my nuts, and I can't go on this flight unless you touch my nuts, so just touch them. And then he's like, well, I have to give you the speech. I go, no, you don't. Just make this like an Apple contract. I'm going to agree. Yeah. Either way, I can't go on this plane until you touch him, right? Well, Bryce grabbed my balls, man. And so now.
You remember his name?
Oh, yeah, he had a name tag on. So now I'm like, look, let's not hold up the line. He goes, well, the rest of the passengers, and I'm like, they're not passengers. They're in vehicles. These are people that are waiting, okay? So now I'm just like, now I'm going back and forth. I'm like, enough with the foreplay, man. Let's just fuck. And so now people are entertained in the line. And he's like, well, I'm taking you to the back room. And I'm like, fuck, man. And a part of that is me being petty, but a part of it's like, let's see where this story goes.
Yeah.
And I'm giving them shit, but also I got 45 minutes to wait, and I don't want to wait. But let's take this. Let's just see what happens. So sometimes I just do stuff to just see how far I can go.
He's got to take you to the comedy show. It's a date.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just get in there and fuck. He purchased your time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm making you work, baby.
So we were talking before because we were wondering, you've done so many sitcoms and stuff like that. And why are you about to laugh?
Go ahead.
Wait, no, I'm not going the direction that you think I'm going to go. But we were just like, as far as stand-up goes, what do you prefer? Or what do you...
I still like stand-up better. It's like, because now I'm at a level of stand-up where I do the road a lot, and also like the acting is coming more frequently, right? But there's just still a difference when it's not your comedy. It's not your voice. And I mean, I've been lucky enough in the last few years, like the last few shows, where they will let me rewrite or do a take of my own so I can change the joke. And so that's freeing. But at this point, I don't think I'm going to do it, unless it's a drama or something, to like just get my acting chops up. I don't think I want to do another sitcom that's not produced by me or like written by me or somebody who knows my voice, because they bring in writers and you can pitch stuff. And I end up having to go, look, man, I get it. That's not a bad joke. but also that's what a 55-year-old white guy would say,
right?
Not a 35-year-old black guy. So like I'll take the joke, let me turn it, and then I'll do it. So, but at least, and I think Whitney Cummings told me this is like when it's your thing. If it kills, I get all the credit.
Right.
If it bombs, I take all the heat. So it's like it's relying on yourself the whole time. So I think just the pressure of comedy is what I like the most. And it's always like a Rubik's Cube. It's like to take something that doesn't seem like it might work or people can relate to, and if I can figure out a way to make it work, it just feels like you won.
Right.
Like I beat it. I beat this system on this joke should not be funny to people. but I found a way to make it work. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get your like acting work from stand up, or were you pursuing kind of both?
I kind of did the whole I minored in theater in college, but I didn't go to like an art school. But we didn't do a lot of plays, honestly, unless it was maybe a couple of us that wanted to do theater. And I was kind of, one of the guys in school that was like, we'll do a production if I'm the lead. Because there was a very small department. Nobody really wanted to do anything. But I was like, so you don't have to do as much. I'll take the lead. And then I'll get everybody motivated to want to do a play. And then I did like SCAD was around there. So it was like a bunch of like art students doing short films and student films and stuff. So it was like I was kind of doing that. Then I went to Atlanta. But Atlanta wasn't what it is now as far as like the acting and entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So I kind of did like some background work, a couple like shitty independent films that never came out. And then just like the vibe of people. And I just didn't like it anymore. So I was like, I'm done with acting. And then I was corporate for 7 years. So I just had a job I worked for Anheuser-Busch. So I was doing marketing so I worked for Swivel Media in San Francisco. Then I got this job with Budweiser or whatever. And then that's how I started in Dallas, actually. So I moved back from San Francisco. I was in Atlanta. And then I traveled a lot for the Budweiser job. And then they moved me to Miami for a little bit, then New Orleans for a little bit, and then Dallas for like 5.5 years. And then like 6 months into Dallas, I was like, dude, I cannot just be 26 years old and like working a 9 to 5 and then having weekends. This feels terrible. Mm-hmm. It just was like, oh, is this how people live? And I get it if that's the button, but I was like, I can't do that. I'm gonna go crazy. And I was like, I want to perform, but I knew that my money was comfortable. I had a company car and laptop and credit card and all this company. I had like all the perks. I was making like $65 a year, being 26, 27 years old. And then I was like, man, I loved comedy. And I was like, and I wanted to perform, but I didn't want to depend on other people. And so I was like, I think I'm gonna just go watch some stand-up. And then I went to a couple clubs and like did some research on all the clubs in Dallas. And then I just got up in January of 2008. And I was like, I think I'm gonna just, if I'm bad at it, at least I'll make some friends because I didn't know anybody there. If I'm good at it, at least I have a hobby now. And then like 4 years in, I was like, fuck it, man. I kind of rose kind of quick in Dallas. And then I was like, fuck it, man, I'm going to LA. And it kind of just, then the NBC stand-up, like I won that in 2011. And that just kind of took me from there. So like I have a very weird story because people ask me like, oh, like how do I become an actor? I was like, I do not know, man. I have no idea. Like I moved to LA. I booked a commercial with no agent, no manager, like a Super Bowl commercial 3 weeks in.
Wow.
Then I booked like 2 more commercials in 6 months and then 2 more commercials. Then I was like, had an arc on a VH1 show. And then I booked Whitney in like 10 months. I was a regular on Whitney on NBC in less than a year. So like, I don't have a good story of advice. Yeah. Like I don't know.
Well, here's my advice. Be charming and attractive.
Yeah. Be extremely talented.
Yeah.
But so you were in Dallas, you started doing stand-up in Dallas, and within 4 years you were moving out to LA?
Yeah, so I started 2008, and then I was trying to, I'll tell you what, I was trying to get laid off through the because I wanted to, I think I told you this. I was like, man, just give me like, because I was supposed to get 30 grand, like 28 grand, 29 grand, something like that, because the company got bought out and by InBev, and so they were like kind of making the cuts, and then my department kept on downsizing. I was like, cool, I'll just wait this out and then get my package, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do after that. I had other job offers and stuff, so I was like, if I want a job, I'll take it. Then I go to Austin. I'll get a job in Austin because I like Austin better, and then there's a better comedy scene down there. Yeah. And I was like, and then I'll figure out how to move to LA. And then they kept me around for 2 more years at Budweiser because I was the only black dude in my department, so they couldn't like. It was like reverse affirmative action. Yeah. Like I had to stay there, and And I just stopped working. I was like, and I literally stopped turning reports. I wasn't doing shit. I was just trying to get let go.
We gotta put a disclaimer on this episode that if you're currently unemployed and can't find work, don't listen to this because this son of a bitch can't not get a job. I want to get fired. No, we're gonna keep you. It's like,
I'm so hireable.
Just falling ass backwards into roles. NBC, come on in.
It was very like. So April, I was going through a breakup. The girl I was dating, I was like taking her back to Florida. I finally got the call. It was April 11th. I got the call, and I was driving her back to Florida. It was a weird drive because we were like both kind of crying and then stopping at rest stops to eat, and then like, oh, it's not a bad drive, and then crying again some more. Then I dropped it back off in Orlando. I flew back, and then and I was like, okay, my lease in my apartment was up. And then a friend of mine, her and her husband that I work with, she was like, hey, man, we need somebody like to go by and cut the grass once a week. We'll pay you, or you can just stay in the house, like fully furnished until we sell the house. And so I ended up living in like a 5-bedroom house.
Get out of here!
By myself.
It's too easy.
Cable was still on. And I was still like doing like a little more road work, and it's like kind of expanding in comedy. And then, because like nobody ever let me feature, I never got a chance to feature for anybody. So it was like I'm just now popping in spots, and like I opened for Sebastian a couple of times, Kanane a few times, Darren Carter, Andrew Kennedy, like, but nobody would ever take me with them. But I like those random, hyenas would let me come feature every now and then. And then August of 2011, me and Mark Agee just moved out to LA with roommates, and shit happened like, pretty fucking quick. So. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. This is a depressing story of my success. But yeah, I mean, like, stuff really, like, I don't know. Like, I always figured out the 2-year plan and then the 5-year plan, 10-year plan. And it's like, all right, how can I put as much work in early to, like, if the 2-year plan happens, then great, because I'll still hit these goals. But can I be reaching for the 5 while I'm still reaching for the 2? And then I'll watch a lot. Like, I don't. Like, you've seen me out, like, I'm social,
yeah,
but I'm still, like, watching everything. I'm still watching people's interactions and how they, and most comics do, but, like, I want to know how bookers work and then club owners work and then how road comics work. And, like, because I call them studio comics and road comics, because there's some comics that never leave the city or never leave LA, go on the road, or never leave New York, go on the road. And then some dudes do both. So it's like, I'm going to split my time to, like, I want to know if Middle America laughs at this. I also want to know if the coast laugh at this. And just trying to figure out what's the best way of, like, Barry Katz called me one time. He was like, you have a very white collar look and delivery with blue collar material, so everybody can understand it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he said that to everybody. He might just say that shit all the time. But.
Well, we actually kind of said that before you got here. We were talking, because I was watching some of your stuff before you got here, and I said, you're not. I wouldn't call you clean because you don't, you curse, but like. You're very relatable, and like it's like you're not edgy. You're not pushing an envelope where it's like, oh my God.
I really don't talk sex. I really don't, like. I'm just now getting into like a darker mode of, like, can I explore more? But I think everybody from 18 to 80 can, other than some fucks and motherfuckers every now and then, you can bleep and still get the joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Yeah, I try to do my best to not offend anyone. Like. But also, I don't care. Like, now, I mean, I'm doing R. Kelly stuff. I'm doing Epstein stuff now. Just like, but that's very difficult for me because I'm usually just telling personal stories.
Yeah.
So.
Why do you not want to offend?
Just the cancel culture now. Like, I don't want. Everybody talks about it now. It's like I don't want to have that one idea that I'm just trying to work out.
Yeah.
Like, I got this thing that's working well, and people don't want to laugh at it, but I'm glad they're breaking. Because it's not normally my style. Because it's more of a perspective piece than a personal thing about me. But I'm doing this R. Kelly thing now where I'm basically paralleling R. Kelly to Willy Wonka. Right? I'm not gonna give you the bit, but like that's I'm painting the picture.
Yeah.
And then people are laughing at the comparison, and so I don't really have to finish the joke. So really, anything you think is remember.
I mean, R. Kelly's got an album called The Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
100%. Thank you for ruining my punchline.
You can see Tone Bell this weekend.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I mean, I feel like most of the comics we see, that's all they do is try to offend or try to push the envelope and stuff. So
I think y'all have more of them and simply my humble opinion, more in New York, and I think crowds are more lenient in New York. I mean, I'm not saying nice, but I'm saying accepting of like allowing you to do like crazier shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a pocket of LA comics that do it and do it well, but I do think.
You think people like in the middle America get just more offended by that stuff? Because I've seen people in this club so many times they walk. Like I've seen Bill Burr come in and walk tables. Like just they can't, like, I don't know.
But I think it's easier to try it here too. Like if I wanted to, like if I'm doing a joke about, like I've been doing this bit about how I think finger fucking is nostalgic now, right?
Uh-huh.
But I'm more apt to do it in New York than I am LA because I feel like LA people,
Yeah.
But then like people in New York go on. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I'm definitely gonna listen to it.
You have my attention.
Yes, and if you at the end of it you'll leave because maybe you didn't like it, but in LA like you still feel people tighten up. I think a little quicker.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the name of your special is Can't Cancel This.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I immediately assumed that was in relation to the cancel culture.
No. So like that's pre the hashtag cancel culture.
Yeah.
The Can't Cancel This because none of it's like actually this is interesting because I've never thought about it like that. I actually just got goosebumps thinking about what you just said. That's interesting. It really was because I've had 6 canceled shows.
Yeah. As Rachel kind of alluded to earlier when she said in the past tense,
like that.
You've been on a lot of shows.
That's what I said. You've been on quite a few
yeah.
shows.
But so I that's what I assumed when I saw it, and then I was watching some of the bits and I was like, oh, this is refreshing because it's just funny. And like I said, it's not clean.
Right.
But it's relatable and it's like everybody can laugh at it. You know, it's like, and that's, look, I like edgy. I like comics that push the envelope and make me go, fuck, I shouldn't be laughing at that, but I am.
Yeah, I love that too.
But it's also refreshing to just watch someone who's just funny.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, old school Cosby clean, but I'm also not Richard Pryor.
Well, neither is Cosby.
but also, and what's funny is like, that's the reason why I'm starting to go there, but so I have the option because I am starting to paint myself career-wise, TV-wise. Most of my movies or TV shows have been lighthearted.
Mm-hmm.
And so people expect me to be that dude.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to think I'm not gross sometimes or I don't have dark thoughts. Like, I'm going to say this because I that's one thing about, we can't get into this, but that's one thing about, I remember Kevin Hart saying this, like, I'm the family guy. I do bits and I do, some edgy stuff here and there. But like he can't pull what Patrice or Bill Burr or like that's just not what fans are used to him saying.
Right.
Like I gotta be a little above board. I'm pretty family friendly.
Yeah.
Yes, I curse and yes I can get not that I can't talk sex, but I can't go and he's not a political comedian. He's not he's not gonna do what Chris Rock does or Chappelle does, and I mean that's just not who he is. That's why after the Oscar thing, like he'd have to talk about it. If he holds out now it has to be a part of the show, and it's like that's not what I do.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I don't want not the option to do it.
I guess
but I also don't want that to be my
so
brand.
Great because that gives you people more of an eye into who you actually are.
Right. Yeah.
But you about to say something?
No. you started with the butt up, so I was waiting.
You had like the lip,
Sorry.
like you were moving the lip, like you had something, and then nothing came out.
Yeah.
This is also weird to just be so nice to you for such a
I
lengthy
know
amount of
this
time.
is not. This is we've never talked this long, and you've never been so pleasant to me.
This is starting to become another through line in this podcast is the comics coming on and saying to Rachel, "You've actually been nice to me. You're never nice to me."
But they hate it. They hate it when I'm nice. That's the funny thing is like
I love it when she, you know
what?
Because she's like oh, this is like maybe a year or two ago. I was at the club and then I was by myself and she goes, "Oh, you didn't bring company this time?" Because she's like, you always.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. This was like way more recent than a year ago.
No,
yes,
no,
it was. I
no.
said, where do you find them? I said, do you have
Well,
them
no,
booked
you said
like
that-
lined up for every?
you said that this
for
year.
every spot. I was like, do you just have them like in line to come every time you have a spot? Like, it's impressive.
Was it Sunday late night show?
I like I like female companionship. I
mean, that's
I
fine.
have good friends. I don't.
And I must say, the ones that you bring are very pleasant.
Aren't they nice?
They're very nice.
You should learn something from
And
them.
they laugh.
Ooh.
But they seem to love it when I bust your balls.
Oh,
So.
yeah.
Well, that's great.
Because I respect you.
Oh.
Well, I guess we gotta wrap up. You got anything? What do you got coming out?
I have a movie coming out September 13th. It'll be in select theaters, and I guess it's on demand and like streaming or whatever. I don't think it's Netflix streaming, but I think it's on like streaming platforms, like the Amazons and the Epics, or just your cable provider. And then I'm gonna get to it. And Sashir is one of the leads of it, and DeWanda Wise and Elan Noel. And Kim Whitley and myself. It's called The Weekend, directed by Stella McGee. So it's a nice, kind of like a new Love Jones, So it's kind of like a nice, like grounded romantic comedy. And then I have one coming out top of next year called Sylvie with Tessa Thompson.
Nice.
And then I'm just back on the road. So I got Hartford this weekend, Hartford, Connecticut this weekend, and then North Carolina. I got Raleigh, Durham, September, and then I'm taking off for a month because I need a break. And then Vegas. First time playing Vegas in like 5 years.
Wow.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Vegas.
And Rojo's never been to Vegas, so this is gonna be wild.
Aw.
I can't wait to see what kind of shit he gets into.
Vegas is fun.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one calling the cops.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone knocks on the door, just take your clothes off. I think we've learned. It's like, sir, put your clothes on. I just want to know if you wanted extra pillows. Put your clothes on.
I think I've ever told it like on a podcast or anything. So hopefully,
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's a good story.
Thank you, Tone.
Yeah. Thanks for coming
Absolutely,
in. That was
man.
great. Goodbye, everybody.
Toodles.
Thank you for listening to This Is Not a Green Room. We are available wherever you get your podcasts, including Stitcher, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and iTunes, as well as the Laughable app. And wherever you're listening to us, please subscribe and give us a 5-star rating so that other people can find us and love us too. You can find us online at Not a Green Room on Instagram and Twitter, and you can check out the club at New York Comedy on Twitter and NY Comedy Club on Facebook and Instagram.